he had it was either in his neck or his shoulder, like some inflammation or something, and but it was because of the way he was cradling his child one night when they fell asleep.
Oh, really?
And
Jesus.
then he was out till like September, like right before the playoffs, and so he's like the only player in Major League Baseball history to go on the DL because he got injured cuddling.
That's insane. Yeah, that really
Yeah,
shows that he's not too durable.
exactly. And then David Ross kind of nursed him through a couple of critical playoff starts because Buchholz
Oh,
wasn't.
that was 2013. That was the year you guys won it all, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
yeah.
forgot.
I don't think he got a World Series start, but
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
he pitched the clincher against Detroit in the ALCS, and Ross kind of got him through the game. Buchholz wasn't even topping out at 90, I don't think, and
Wow, really?
somehow they got five or six full innings out of him.
That's insane.
But his ERA was low in AAA with the Royals, but his strikeout to walk ratio was bad. So I guess that's why they didn't want to call him up.
Yeah.
But
So he's with Arizona now?
he's with Arizona, and I think they only really need him desperately until Robbie Ray gets back, and then
Yeah.
after that, whatever they get out of him
So
is a bonus.
is he on the big league? Is he going to be on the big league club with Arizona?
I believe so. Yeah, I didn't see what the details of the contract was, but
That's good for him. What is he's in like his early 30s now, isn't he?
yeah, he's about 33, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe even 34. Yeah, I think he's born the same year I was. I think so he's he's up there. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of I don't know. Pitching depth obviously is an issue with everyone.
Yeah, you can never have enough pitching.
So what about Aaron Boone right now? I haven't really watched too closely because there was some debate over whether he was really managing the team or he was just basically delegating what the analytics department, wanted him
Now,
to do.
all right, well, he was obviously a big analytics guy going in. I know he still is, of course, but yeah, it's been a very talked about thing that he's kind of like possibly a puppet from upstairs. Kind of the same way Joe Girardi possibly was, Binder Joe and all, and they think analytics is more so running the game, but they're saying apparently, I think Aaron Boone said on the Michael Kay show, I believe it was, that the analytics like are a very big deciding factor, but he's the one that's like pulling the strings, like the lineup and everything. But I'm not too sure what to believe, to be honest. I've read a lot of reports on things.
So he's facing questions about what his role actually is. Like your media is.
I personally think I think because obviously the Yankees are, I mean, every team is heavily into analytics, but I'm saying I think the Yankees front office and I think the upstairs has a lot to do with game decisions more so than Aaron Boone.
Yeah, because everybody was like, well, he's got no experience and, blah, blah, blah. And so I was kind of buying into the fact that he was just simply a delegator,
And yeah, he's definitely made some mistakes so far. I mean, all the mistakes, the majority have been around the name Jonathan Holder. Jonathan Holder should even be in the big leagues, but the bullpen's been a little bit of just the bullpen, his bullpen management pretty lackluster. Resting Didi when he was your hottest hitter when you had a day off tomorrow, stuff like that, like some little stuff like that can be crucial into losses. So
yeah, we go through that right now with Alex Cora, just resting guys all the time. And I'm like, when are we ever going to have our full lineup, playing in the same game,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like sometimes you just think like, I this year's been alright, but there's been times when it's like I feel like I haven't seen the full lineup stacked 1-9 in one game together.
Right. Yeah. And the thing that drives me nuts about that is last year Joey Votto finished runner-up in the MVP race, and a lot of people thought he should have won it. And
Yeah,
he's 34 years old, and he played all 162 games.
that's
and,
all. I love it.
And he reached base safely in 150 of them.
Mm.
That's just
Yeah, Joey Votto is unbelievable. I mean, if you look at are you a big believer in the team has to be contending for their player to win MVP?
That's what I prefer, because how valuable are they? I mean,
Yeah.
if
Me as well. And I was just saying for Votto, his team was in contention, but Stanton wasn't either for the most part. I mean, they made a late run kind of in early September, but other than that, I mean, the Marlins weren't a contending team. So
right. I mean, I much rather would have saw it go to either
it was
Goldschmidt or
Goldschmidt, right? Yeah.
yeah, or even Charlie Blackmon. I don't know how he fared in
Charlie
the second
Blackmon was
half.
in my. He was that's who I picked. I remember I was talking about it. I forget with who, but Charlie Blackmon was my pick. But I don't think he was in the top three. I don't think.
No, not in the end, because I
Yeah.
think they only give you the top three, I believe.
Yeah, it was Goldschmidt, Votto, and Stanton.
Yeah, and I much rather would have saw it be Goldschmidt, but he kind of tailed off though in the last month of the year, so I don't know. But they weren't gonna go away from Stanton actually with what was it, 59 home runs?
59 home runs. I mean, I'm totally glad that it was Stanton because looking back, I mean, like the whole narrative, the Yankees got the NL MVP, but at the time, talking about like deserving MVP, I didn't really think. I mean, if it was Stanton or Votto, I guess you go with Stanton. I guess 59 home runs, but
Yeah.
pretty much a good August and September got him MVP.
So going back to the manager situation though, how pissed were you when Girardi got fired, and how surprised were you?
I was, in terms of being shocked, I remember thinking to myself, because the whole thing, majority of the time, was that it wasn't that the Yankees weren't going to bring him back. We all thought that if Joe wasn't going to be the manager in 2018, we thought it would be Joe's decision. But it turns out Joe wanted to come back, and the Yankees opted not to bring him back. A majority of it had to do with player relationships, especially with Gary Sanchez. For me, I was just very that was coming off. I don't remember ALDS game 2. He made some very poor decisions, and
Yeah.
I was still quite heated with him to end up winning that series. And Girardi's pretty much all I've ever really known as a manager for the most part. I watched a little bit of the late with Torre's years, but at the time I wasn't very angry. I was more so confused on how it all went down. But with Aaron Boone, I mean, I'm not going to bash him just yet. He's done some good things. He's done some bad things, to say the least.
Yeah, I felt bad for Girardi because, I mean, I was a Francona guy with the Red Sox, and, I mean, him getting fired was probably one of the most painful things, you know.
I mean, it really does suck for Girardi. Thinking about it, he averaged 91 wins over 10 years with the Yankees, and thinking about it, he has his team right now that's obviously going to contend for World Series for years to come, and he kind of just gets booted. So
yeah, like right when it was starting to, right after he had developed them, and they were basically primed to, to
contend. Yeah,
exactly.
It sucks for him. Yeah, now he's an analyst on MLB Network. He's doing good over there. I watch him a couple times, but
yeah,
it definitely sucks, and it's weird. I remember watching him on MLB Network, and like he was like analyzing the Yankees game, and I was like, that must be really awkward for him. Just like talking about like DJ Gregorius, like when he was his manager less than a year ago.
Right. And you just wonder, you know, where he'll end up. I mean, if he wants to go to Miami, you know, work for Jeter, that's possible.
Well, I'm not too sure, because apparently Jeter and Girardi's relationship actually isn't too it really isn't on the better side, apparently, or something like that.
Yeah, well, other spots will open, though. I mean,
I think
the White
Girardi
Sox
definitely will get offers, to manage if he hasn't already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the White Sox, maybe. I don't think he'll want to go to a team that's in a complete rebuild, but
yeah, I was thinking like maybe Cincinnati, but I mean, I don't think he'll really want to go there either. So
yeah, their farm, like they got some bad return on some of their trades, and their rebuild just isn't coming along very well.
Yeah, Chapman's one of those trades they didn't get a good turn on.
Right. Yeah, and you know, Texas is going into a long rebuild. I mean, the Giants, you have to figure.
What an awful offseason for the Giants. They got older.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I mean, on paper, some of it looks good. I mean, who wouldn't want Evan Longoria? But, you know, he's 32, 33, and his numbers are trending downward. And
exactly, yeah. And they got him at the wrong time.
Yeah, and I've never really been a big McCutchen guy. I think his MVP year was somewhat of an anomaly. And
when was that? That was, what, 2012, 2013?
Yeah, 2012, I think. That was the year I think Melky would have got it if he didn't get caught.
Oh, 2012, he got caught. Yeah, wasn't he in like 350 at the All-Star break that year?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, and so then it ended up going to McCutchen. And McCutchen did have a good year. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but he hasn't been anything close to that, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Giants, they get him like after he has 2 consecutive years, I think, hitting under 280. So, I mean, he had like 250 in 2016. I think he was in the 270s last year. He's definitely on the downward trend.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. I'm surprised they kept Bochy, too, but I guess he's in the last year of his deal and he wants to
Yeah, I think that's
retire.
kind of a thing. It would be a bad optic, I guess, if they just got rid of him. They just gotta probably let him ride out this contract, and then
Yeah.
he'll be gone.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, though, is if you look at their run where they won, every other year for, 3 different times,
Mm.
um, I think they were the wild card in 2 of those, and they were even the second wild
Yeah, I
card.
know. I think 2014. I think they were the wild card. I believe 20. I think 2010 they were the wild card too. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I know there was definitely a couple who were wild cards.
Yeah, they won the division one of those years, but I mean, they just got hot really late, and
Oh yeah,
I just
and that's what
don't.
matters. Momentum going in the postseason. Yeah.
Right, but I'm just wondering, like, how good of a manager is Bochy? Like, or is it?
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's kind of just like with the whole like Girardi thing. Like I said that he averaged 91 wins over 10 years, but it's like look at the teams he was managing. Sometimes you just got to look at the team somebody has, and just you got to think the manager didn't have too much of an impact on it. And even if he did, you could say maybe the Giants even underperformed, or they just performed up to their billing, no matter what manager they had.
Yeah, I mean, I think they always overperformed with Girardi because, I mean, some of those years, I feel like you guys should have been
The
below 500, and
the years after, like the 2009 to 2012 core, they won just about as many games as they should, 95 plus every year. But the 2013 to 2016, what we call like the down years, that are winning like 85 games. You look at the run differential in some of those years; they should have been sub 500. So I'd say the 2013 to 2016 years, Joe Girardi, in my opinion, should have won a Manager of the Year award in those years.
right, and then in 2015, you guys snuck into the wild card game.
Yeah, and that was mostly key to the resurgence of Teixeira and A-Rod. That was a
Yeah,
big help, and then kind of limped into the playoffs and just got shut out by Dallas Keuchel and the Astros that year. But
yeah, Keuchel was out of his mind.
man, he was so filthy that year.
Yeah, and speaking of though, he'll be a free agent this year. Bryce Harper's a free agent. Kershaw can opt out. I'm skeptical if he will because he's just having trouble staying healthy. And
Yeah, he just got put on back on the DL today.
oh,
Actually.
today he did.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't even
I,
see that. What
yeah, I
what
forget
was
what it was. I'm not sure. I just know he was put on the 10-day DL. I saw it today. Yeah,
because of his back? Maybe that's
he's
been
gone off to. I think his ERA is in like the twos, but apparently he hasn't looked too good according to Dodgers fans. He's 1-4. I mean, win-loss stats don't really matter to me at least, but apparently according to some Dodgers fans I've talked to, he hasn't looked too good.
Yeah, I actually picked the Diamondbacks to win that division, and it might end up being the Rockies too. I considered
Mm-hmm.
them, but I thought the Dodgers would have a fall off, and
Yeah,
Turner had the wrist injury, which is just unlucky. But
yeah. I
but
think
they're
Seager's out for the year now too, so that really sucks.
yeah they're just this is going to be a throwaway year for them. But
Yeah.
a lot of those guys are still under contract, and yeah, I didn't see that Kershaw. I was away all day, so I didn't literally see any baseball.
Yeah,
But
I think it was around like 11 or so, 11 in the morning that they said I got a notification saying he was on the DL. I don't remember what it was for. I hope it's not the back. He's had an issue with his back for like a little bit now.
yeah, and as I was saying, I just can't imagine he's going to opt out, and leave all that money on the table. Maybe, I mean,
Well,
he's
the
only
thing,
30, so, but
yeah, him it's. I mean, I'm not sure how long this DL stint will last, but if he puts together another good year, I could see him opting out. Think about it, because he's in I think the fourth year of a 7-year, 215 deal. So if he opts out, I'm sure he could get 30 million across, probably the same amount. So I mean, I feel like he could definitely get at least the same money he's getting now. Maybe he just wants to go to a different team. I'm not sure if he does or not. I don't see him leaving LA. If he opts out, I think he'll stay with LA anyways.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the 2 seasons previously, he was on the DL for at least 4 to 6 weeks. So
Yeah, I think he only made about like 25 to 28 starts last year, I think.
yeah, and it probably cost him a Cy Young because he was having a good year last year as well.
Mm. Yeah, I think like a low 2-year, right? Or maybe even the ones. I don't even know.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was in the twos, but yeah. So, do you see any, especially with Harper, like, do you see the Yankees being active there, or do you think it's like you're just going to build on what you have within your system?
Well, I mean, I'd say with Harper, it's tough. I mean, it depends. I guess assuming Stan remains a DH, I guess, and you have Hicks in center, Judge obviously in right, and Gardner coming off the books this year. Harper, I mean, I just don't know how much money. I mean, they're saying he could get over 40 million a year, so I mean, they could, I guess, but it's a tough one for Harper. I mean, I could totally see it happening. I could totally see it not happening. In terms of Manny Machado, with Miguel Andujar playing the way he's been playing, I'd say Manny Machado. I'd say is definitely a no. Bryce Harper, I'd say over under